Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Morning sunlight poured through the tall windows of the Metro Court, but peace was nowhere to be found in Port Charles. The air itself seemed thick with secrets, doubts, and dangerous possibilities. At General Hospital, the miracle everyone had been praying for had already happened. Maxie Jones was awake. After weeks suspended between life and death, she had opened her eyes and the world had rushed back in. But miracles always come with consequences. In a quiet corridor near the ICU, Nathan West stood frozen. His hand hovered inches from the doorknob to Maxie's room. He had faced down criminals, corruption, and gunfire in his time as a detective, but this terrified him. What if she didn't remember him the way he remembered her? Or worse, what if she remembered something she should? Behind him, footsteps echoed. Dante Falconry approached, hands tucked into his jacket, studying Nathan with the quiet perception of someone who had survived too much to panic. "You look like you're about to walk into a firing squad," Dante said lightly. Nathan exhaled. "It feels worse." Dante leaned against the wall. "She's awake, that's what matters. You two, you've got a forever connection, nothing going to change that." Nathan swallowed hard. A forever connection. The words hit differently today because deep down there was something off, something no one else seemed to notice. Proof said he was Nathan West, memories lined up, records matched, even DNA confirmed it. But sometimes proof can lie. "You ever feel like something's not what it seems?" Nathan asked quietly. Dante's eyes sharpened. "That a question about Maxie or about you?" Nathan didn't answer, and that silence said everything. Inside the hospital room, Maxie stared at the ceiling, fingers twisting nervously in the sheets. Waking up had been disorienting, but not in the way everyone expected. She remembered the accident, the pain, the voices fading. She remembered Nathan's. But her heart felt unsettled. The door opened and Nathan stepped inside. Their eyes locked. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Then Maxie smiled, a fragile, beautiful thing. "Hey you," she whispered. Nathan crossed the room, taking her hand carefully as though she might vanish. "Hey yourself." The touch felt familiar, safe, but there was a flicker in Maxie's gaze, a flash of uncertainty so brief Nathan almost missed it. Almost. Across town at the mayor's office, political storms were brewing. Laura Collins stood by her desk, reviewing documents tied to the now-vacant congressional seat once held by Drew Kane. Drew's departure had left more than emotional wreckage, it had left power unclaimed. And in Port Charles, power never stayed empty for long. Laura had an idea, a bold one. Meanwhile, at the Davis house, Alexis Davis was packing. She hadn't expected Laura's call, she definitely hadn't expected what came next. "Congress," Alexis muttered under her breath, "you've got to be kidding me." Across the room, Molly Lansing Davis looked up sharply. "Wait, what?" Alexis hesitated, then finally admitted it. "Laura wants to recommend me to fill Drew's congressional seat." For a moment, Molly just stared. Then she practically exploded with excitement. "Mom, that's huge." Alexis raised a hand. "It's not official, it's barely a conversation." But Molly was already imagining it. "Congresswoman Davis." The words felt right, powerful, earned. "You'd be amazing," Molly insisted. "You fight for people, you stand your ground, that's exactly what Washington needs." Alexis tried to temper her daughter's enthusiasm, but deep down a spark ignited. She had spent years battling addiction, disgrace, and rebuilding her career. This could be redemption on a grand scale. But in Port Charles, nothing comes easy. Because another name was already being whispered. At the Metro Court, Nina Reeves sipped her espresso, unaware her world was about to tilt. Willow Kane approached hesitantly. There was determination in her posture, but nerves in her eyes. "Nina, I need to tell you something." Nina lowered her cup slowly. That tone never means good news. Willow took a breath. "Gent Sidwell thinks I should run for Drew's congressional seat." Silence. "Then, he what?" Nina nearly choked. The name alone, Sidwell, set off alarms, a man who never made moves without hidden agendas. Willow rushed to explain. "He says I have the image, the heart, the public sympathy, he thinks I could win." Nina's expression shifted from shocker to calculation. Do you want to? Nina asked carefully. Willow hesitated. I don't know, I'm a nurse, a mom, I've never run for office. Nina leaned forward, eyes gleaming. You're also strong, compassionate, resilient, and Port Charles loves you. Willow blinked. You're not angry this came from Sidwell. Oh, I hate that it came from him, Nina admitted smoothly, but sometimes you use the devil's idea for your own advantage. Willow studied her mother. Do you really think I could do it? Nina smiled slowly. You have a secret weapon. Willow frowned. What secret weapons? It's me. Across the Quartermain mansion, emotional tension hummed. Damien Spinelli sat hunched over his laptop, not typing for once. He stared blankly at the screen. Maxie was awake. He should feel relief. But fear clawed at him instead. What if waking up meant she drifted back to Nathan completely? What if the life they'd built, their family, their fragile peace, collapsed overnight? Brooklyn Quartermain approached gently. You look like someone cancelled Wi-Fi worldwide. Spinelli didn't smile. She's awake, he said softly, and I'm terrified. Brooklyn sat beside him, terrified of what? That destiny will reclaim her. Brooklyn studied him carefully. If you and Maxie are meant to be, she said firmly, no coma, no confusion, no resurrected detective is going to change that. Spinelli's eyes glistened. And if we're not? Then you fight for her anyway. Elsewhere, in a tense corner of Kelly's, Christina Corinthos Davis confronted Cody Bell. You need to grow up, Christina snapped. Cody threw up his hands. I didn't start this manuscript mess. No, but you're drowning in it, Christina shot back. You and Molly care about each other. Stop sabotaging it over drama. Cody looked away, jaw tight. Maybe she was right. Maybe it was time to stop running. Back at the hospital, Maxie squeezed Nathan's hand. You're quiet, she said softly. I'm just grateful, he replied. But gratitude wasn't the only emotion swirling in that room. Because something, some invisible thread, felt tangled. And Port Charles was about to pull it tighter. By afternoon, Port Charles felt like it was holding its breath. At the hospital, whispers followed every nurse and orderly. Maxie's awakening was more than personal, it was seismic. Relationships were shifting, old love triangles were reigniting. Nathan stepped outside her room again, running a hand through his hair. His reflection in the hallway glass stared back at him. For a split second, he didn't recognize himself. The flicker was subtle but chilling. Across town, Laura met privately with Alexis. You'd bring integrity to the position, Laura insisted. Alexis folded her arms. And enemies. Laura smiled knowingly. That comes with the territory. But before Alexis could respond, Laura's phone buzzed, the update she'd been dreading. Sidwell had formally submitted Willow's name to the governor. Laura's expression tightened. This just got complicated. At the Metro Court, Nina was already strategizing. You'd need a campaign manager, she told Willow. Fundraising, media training, messaging. Willow's head spun. This is insane. No, Nina said calmly, this is opportunity. But beneath Nina's enthusiasm was something else. Control. If Willow entered politics, Nina could stand beside her, publicly redeemed, privately influential. Willow, however, felt the weight of it all. Drew believed in service, she murmured. What if I fail? Then you stand back up, Nina said sharply. That's what our family does. Meanwhile, Spinelli gathered the courage to visit Maxie. He entered carefully. Their eyes met. Hey you, Maxie said softly, echoing the words she'd used for Nathan. Spinelli's heart twisted. I'm glad you're awake, he whispered. She smiled. So am I. But when Nathan re-entered moments later, the air thickened instantly. 2 men. 1 woman. And a history too complicated to untangle neatly. Across town, Molly paced excitedly. Congresswoman Davis, she repeated. Alexis sighed, but she couldn't hide the small smile tugging at her lips. Then came another call. Sidwell was lobbying aggressively. If Willow ran, Alexis might not even get the nomination. Molly's excitement shifted to outrage. Since when does Sidwell decide anything? Alexis's eyes darkened since power became currency. At Kelly's, Cody finally made a decision. He found Molly later that evening. "You're right," he admitted. "I care about you more than this stupid manuscript drama." Molly blinked. "Then prove it." He reached for her hand. And for once, he didn't let go. Back at the hospital, tension reached a breaking point. Maxie watched Nathan and Spinelli carefully. "Something's wrong," she finally said. Nathan stiffened. "What do you mean?" Maxie hesitated. "I remember everything, but sometimes when I look at you I feel like there's a piece missing." The words sliced through the room. Spinelli held his breath. Nathan forced a smile. "That's just the coma talking." But even he didn't believe that. Because deep down he knew. If he wasn't exactly who he appeared to be, then this reunion wasn't a miracle. It was a ticking time bomb. As night fell over Port Charles, alliances shifted quietly. Laura reconsidered her strategy. Alexis weighed ambition against risk. Willow stared at a blank notebook, imagining speeches she wasn't sure she could deliver. Nina poured another glass of wine, already planning moves no one saw coming. And in a dark hospital corridor, Nathan stood alone. His reflection stared back at him once more. This time, he definitely didn't recognize the man in the glass. And somewhere in Port Charles, the truth was waiting to explode.